Okay, hello YouTube and YouTube subscribers. Today we're going to be doing a species profile on the Scarlet Badis. And first thing to bring up about Scarlet Badis is how small they are. Here's a bottle cap. Well, that's not necessarily a good comparison. But if you're closer, you'd see that the Scarlet Bass is actually... The Scarlet Bass's total length is actually less than the width of the bottle cap. And, Scarlet Badis, the males, as you can see here, they're brightly colored. They have a red body with blue stripes, while the females, as you can see here, do not really have much color. And they're really hard to get into focus, they're so small, which is one of the reasons why I've been a bit hesitant to do a video on these guys. So, the males grow to 20 millimeters, while the females can grow 13 millimeters. So, that's about 3/4 an inch for a male, and probably about 0.5, probably about half an inch for a female. And the most important things to know about Scarlet Bass is they're kind of a picky eater. Generally speaking, the recommended foods are frozen or live brine shrimp, tuna, microworms, and a few other ones like I think they're called grendel worms. Those are recommended ones. Grendel worms, yeah. And another thing about feeding is you should not feed them bloodworms and tube fixed worms because they don't digest them very well, and the main cause of illness in Scarlet Bass is actually obesity due to eating improper foods or simply eating too much. And because they're so small, they're obviously quite prone to becoming obese. Now, in terms of water chemistry, these guys are fairly adaptable. They're naturally found in very small water bodies with low oxygen contents. So, for example, for the pH, these guys can withstand a pH of 6.5 to 8.5. Hardness isn't really that important since they can live in hard and soft water. I wouldn't go extremely hard though, because I don't think they can tolerate that. But they are flexible in terms of hardness. As for temperature, they prefer a temperature between 18 and 26 degrees. These guys are at 23 degrees right now. And for community, as a community fish, I don't think these guys make the best community fish because they're very shy. You can see right now they're outgoing and everything. And they've kind of gotten used to me moving around the room, but it took about 2 weeks for them to end up like that, to become outgoing. Now, if you're going to keep them a community fish, you need to keep them with other really small fish, other really peaceful fish also. So, one of the main things these guys are kept in the community is they're kept with shrimp, such as red cherry shrimp, crystal shrimp, etc. And there's a few other species of shrimp you can keep them with, and some of the shrimp actually produce food for these guys, and some shrimp they'll lay eggs constantly, and then the Scarlet Badis will eat the eggs and the larvae. And I find they also go great with snails. Some snail species do quite well also with the baddies, because again the snails kind of will make food for your baddies to an extent, because they will produce eggs and larvae, which the baddies can then eat. Now, as for if you're going to house them with other fish, from what I've read, the best fish that seems to be going with these guys seem to be tiny loaches. Some of the dwarf loaches work fairly well. Another thing probably works pretty well is the coolie loach. Neon tetras probably work quite well also. Micro rasboras. No betas, because the betas will eat these guys. Probably honey grammies would probably also work. But if there's any aggression from the honey grammies, you'll have to remove them. And basically, if you're going to keep them with a small shoaler, make sure the shoaler isn't really fast moving. Because, like, they won't be able to compete for food with something like a zebra dano or a pearl dano. I have also heard about people keeping these guys in tanks with glow light danos and celestial pearl danos. So that's basically these guys. I think these guys are probably just best kept in a species tank or alongside invertebrates. Now, as for their aquascape, they're territorial fish. The males are aggressive towards each other. So I only have 2 of these guys in here, and I don't think I'd probably keep more than 2 males in this tank anyway, because this is a 16-inch tank, and there's probably not enough room for them to form a huge amount of territories. So another way to house males is house a male with a harem of females, say 3, 4, or 5 females, or as many females as you want to give him actually, since he probably wouldn't care how many females you give him as long as you give him at least 1 female. And so whenever they're feeding, everything else, I don't find them to be actually that difficult in terms of water parameters and stuff, because, as I said before, they're easy to keep. But I assume you gotta keep your water very clean, these guys, since they're considered to be a delicate fish. It's like, for example, with this tank, I'd probably have gotten away without using the filter on here because the plants could have uptaken and everything, but I think it's best to stick with filtration, even when you're dealing with fish this small. And another thing is, I think these guys go great with Java mosses or Christmas moss, because the moss often houses a lot of little critters, and every once in a while I actually see these guys picking at little organisms on here. So this is a Scarlet Badis. This is one of the smallest fish there is in the hobby. Not too difficult. Probably the best entry fish into keeping microfish. It's the first microfish I've kept too. So thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.